Hello, my name is Michelle Bentz, and I'm the instructor for your online marriage and family course. I'm just going to provide you a quick little instructor video to introduce myself, give you some ins and outs of the course on how to be successful, and then go over a little bit about how the course is set up. I teach on the Columbus campus at Central Community College, and I've been teaching sociology for about 10 years now. My prior lives, as I like to put it, I've been a career counselor. I've also worked in family support work. I've worked in the criminal justice system as a probation officer, pretrial services officer. So I've had a little bit of world experience that you'll hear me sometimes chime in about. You are registered or looking at this video because you're registered for an online marriage and family course. And if you look at the screen a little bit, I'd like to just walk you through a little bit about how to function in this course, how the course flows a bit, and tell you some ins and outs. This is what we call an instructor-paced course, which if you notice on the screen here, I have a little blurb about being an instructor-paced course. And it means that we have weekly due dates in this course. You will notice as you look at your calendar, and in my calendar, we call these blocks, under the upcoming events, sometimes your calendars might be on the right-hand side here. These are called blocks, and when I don't want to see them anymore, you can click on this little button and it will dock it over here. So I dock a lot of mine. So if you look for your upcoming calendar, you'll notice that all of your assignments in this course, for the summer anyway, are due on Tuesday evenings by midnight. That means that I will typically always try to grade on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So if for some reason you don't have an assignment that's not graded within 3 days, that's usually my grading period, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. That means maybe I didn't receive it or something's going on, but don't ever hesitate to get back in touch with me about an assignment. I do follow the upcoming events calendar. So this is your course calendar. You're going to watch it very closely on what things are due. But as I told you, you'll notice the Tuesday dates for this course in particular are always due on those evenings. So you'll want to make sure you get your assignment in by that point. I do accept late assignments before the end of the class, which if you notice on your course homepage, this is always the final due date. So you want to make sure you take note of that. Depending on the semester when you're taking it. So depending on when you're watching this video, this date could change. So please always make note of your live course when these dates are. The next item I'll mention to you are my contact information. Again, my name is Michelle Bentz. You can always reference to me in your emails or contact as Michelle. My phone number here is listed right here. During the summers, I'm not around my desk as much, so probably your fastest way to get a hold of me is through QuickMail. So if you go to your QuickMail, you can click on Compose New Email, and it'll allow you to send an email directly to me. You can also email me from a private email account as well. You don't have to use CCC email, but please always email me. That tends to be the fastest way to get a hold of me. I usually respond to emails within 12 to 24 hours. If you don't hear back from me within 24 hours, make sure you email me again. That means something happened, and you don't ever have to hesitate by emailing me again. I won't be offended by that. The next thing I'll point out to you is your course syllabus. Make sure this would be the first thing you want to do when you get into the course is read this course syllabus. It's going to outline, again, my email information, my phone number. It's going to tell you what things are graded in this course, how many points you need to receive A's and B's. It's going to tell you all of my course policies. It's going to give you all the course objectives. It's going to give you the course competencies. So this is a really good tool to hang on to and make sure you read through. The other thing I'll point out to you are course announcement. Every week after I get done grading, so usually on Wednesdays, I will post a course announcement about what's coming up for the week, what to expect, talk to you just a little bit, give some feedback in general, maybe highlight things like if there's ever a change in a due date. The only time right now that I have planned deviating from that Tuesday due date is the week of July 4th. Your assignments will be due on an alternate date that time since our class would fall on a holiday. So in terms of being successful in the course, I always recommend you follow along on the course homepage. Because we do have all these little docking menus, one menu that some people like to go directly to is your activities block. And this is very convenient. You can click on your activities block and go directly to all of your advanced forum posts or all of your assignments. Just go back here and show you. It would allow you to go directly to your quizzes. It allows you to go directly to, I mentioned, to your assignments, so you can see a whole list of when things are due, what folder they're under, and if you've submitted them and what your grade is. So that's a handy little tool. But I will tell you to make sure that when you're getting ready to do assignments and you're following along, to make sure you just flow along on the course homepage from the top to the bottom, because there's a lot of information. For example, what you need to learn, how to be successful. I sometimes throw some tips out there. You also see when things are due that are listed out here in sequential order. So if you follow, these are called folders. If you follow them in sequential order, starting at the top, going to the bottom, you will have completed the assignments in the order that I've intended you to complete them, and that will help things make sense for you. And then at the bottom of every folder, I always do a little bit of a wrap up of some things you should pay attention to for the exam. So please try to follow along from top to bottom on your course homepage. It will help you quite a bit. I always give feedback on all of my assignments. So when you go to your grade book, which on your screen, you'll have a little administration tab over here on the right-hand side. When you open that administration block, there should be a grade link. You click on that grade link and it's going to take you to your grade book, and it'll show you all the assignments and all the feedback I've left. So I always leave feedback on all of assignments that I've graded. So I encourage you to make sure you go out and take a look at that. Also on your course homepage, you will want to click on, we call these a little book. Click on this book and read through it for sure. It's going to help you with your first activity. It's a little bit of a welcome to class. It tells you a little bit about myself, my phone number, again, some great information. It also is a place where you're going to want to spend some time looking at your discussion requirements and your activity assignments. This will tell you explicitly how I grade these assignments and what I will dock you for points. So for your discussion requirements, for example, you get 10 points per discussion post, and you need to make sure that you also respond to at least one other student in class. Without that, you only get half of your points. So make sure you read through each one of these chapters in the book, this welcome to class book, as we refer to it. In terms of your activity assignments, again, this tells you how to submit them, how I grade them, what I'm looking for. Give you some little tidbits on that. And then if you ever get lost in the course, if you ever scroll to the top of your page and you see this kind of grayed out, this is your course homepage. If you click back on that, we call them breadcrumbs, go back to that breadcrumb right here and it'll take you right back to the course homepage. The other thing I wanted to point out is at the very bottom of your screen is one of our major assignments in this course is a family story personal reflection paper. This is due at the very end of the semester. If you click on this PDF file, it will highlight all the information I'm expecting for this paper. And I want to mention it to you now so that it's not a surprise. I do mention it in the middle of the course what I'm looking for. But basically, you're going to write your own family story and use content that you learned from this course within your family story. So you have to write a story, a reflection of yourself, your family story, and you have to use at least 20 terms from the course that you learned in the chapters. And they need to be used correctly in the proper format, and they need to be highlighted. So make sure you follow along on this assignment on the things I'm looking for. You don't need to use every part of the book, but I suggest maybe going through each part and picking out pieces that you want to talk about in your own life. And then in terms of your reflection on the second page, gives you some things to maybe think about in terms of how to write your paper. What do I start with? What kind of things do I want to answer? And lastly, when you go to answer these check marks right here must be reflected within your paper or you're going to lose points on that. So please make sure you take some time looking over this document to make sure that you've covered all aspects of the paper. If you do have questions about it at any time, don't hesitate to contact me because it is an assignment that I grade pretty heavily and it's a 50-point assignment. So you can really boost your grade tremendously by following along and completing it correctly. In terms of what will be required and covered in the course, each week you'll always have a small, short 10-point quiz. I always provide you chapter notes to look over. Sometimes I have short little video clips. There are about 7 forum discussions that you'll want to go out and participate in as they come up. I do provide study guides for every exam to help you organize your thoughts. On some weeks, we also have marriage and family activities. These are short writing assignments. And then after so many weeks, you usually have some sort of full exam outside of the little short quizzes. And there is, again, a study guide for each one of those exams. The last thing I'd like to tell you a little bit is that I do accept late work. It just needs to be turned in before the end of the semester, whatever that final due date of that semester's course date is. Outside of that last date, anything that's not submitted at that point remains a zero. So I look forward to getting to know you. And if you have any questions at any time, please don't hesitate to email me. Again, that's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. If anything ever doesn't seem right, please don't hesitate to ask. And lastly, just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am a mom. I have 3 children that range in ages of a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And so we have a very busy life. And so I know that things come up, and I know people have family responsibilities outside of class. So I tend to be a pretty flexible person if you talk to me and you communicate with me. If you get in touch with me, we can always make arrangements, move and adjust things. But if you don't get in touch with me and wait for things to lapse, then that's when we tend to have some problems. The only thing that I'm pretty much a stickler on is in your exams. If you do not notify me in advance that you're going to miss an exam, I usually make those exams zeros. If you communicate with me in advance or as soon as you're physically able to, I will make arrangements to open up exams or adjust due dates for you. So please watch your exam dates in particular and let me know. We will cover a large amount of material in this course, so try to stay on top of things. You can work ahead, always work ahead whenever you can, but try not to get to behind. So good luck in your course. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoy the course. I've spent a lot of time trying to organize it in a very functional manner. Again, if you have any questions, concerns, or something doesn't seem right, please get in touch with me. I welcome that opportunity to converse with you. Good luck.